Welcome to Tales by Felix, where every story unlocks a new world. Remember to subscribe, like and share. Let's begin. Liam Carter stood at the edge of his sleek, glass-walled office, gazing out over the Seattle skyline. At 38, he was the youngest partner at Ellison Grey Architects, his name etched on award plaques lining the walls. But as the city lights flickered to life, a hollow ache gnawed at him. Success had come at a cost: late nights, missed anniversaries, and a marriage that felt more like a routine than a romance. At home, Sophia Carter was folding laundry in their Capitol Hill brownstone, the soft hum of jazz filling the air. She was a graphic designer, her creativity once a spark that lit up their relationship. Now, her sketches lay untouched, replaced by endless to-do lists. She glanced at the clock. 8:47 p.m. Liam had promised to be home by 7. The front door clicked open. Liam stepped in, loosening his tie, his face etched with exhaustion. "Sorry, sophomore client meeting ran late again." Sophia forced a smile, her hazel eyes searching his. "It's fine. Dinner's in the oven." Her voice was warm but strained, like a violin string stretched too tight. They sat across from each other, the clink of forks against plates the only sound. Finally, Sophia broke the silence. "Liam, do you ever feel stuck? Like we're just going through the motions?" He froze, fork mid-air. "What do you mean?" "I'm here, aren't I?" "Are you?" she pressed, her voice soft but piercing. "You're here, but it's like you're not here. Not with me." Liam sighed, running a hand through his dark hair. "It's just work, sophomore. You know how it is. The Hamilton project's a beast." She nodded, but her eyes betrayed her doubt. "I just miss us. The way we used to be." He reached for her hand, but the gesture felt rehearsed. "We're fine. I promise." But even as he said it, the words felt hollow, like an echo in an empty room. That night, as Sophia slept, Liam lay awake, staring at the ceiling. He loved her, he did, but something was missing. A spark, a purpose, a connection that had slipped through his fingers like sand. He didn't know how to fix it, and that scared him more than he could admit. The annual Pacific Northwest Design Summit was a whirlwind of polished suits, clinking champagne glasses, and bold ideas. Liam stood by a towering model of his latest project, fielding questions from investors. His navy suit was impeccable, but his smile was a practiced mask. "Impressive work, Carter," a voice said, smooth and confident. Liam turned to see Isabel Moreau, a rising star in real estate development. Her auburn hair was swept into an elegant updo, and her emerald eyes sparkled with ambition. "Your designs are audacious. I like that." "Thanks," Liam replied, caught off guard by her directness. "You're with Horizon Developments, right? I've heard about your waterfront project." Isabel grinned, leaning closer. "Guilty. But let's talk about your work. That cantilevered atrium? It's daring. Risky, even. Tell me about it." They talked for hours, the conversation flowing effortlessly. Architecture, art, the thrill of creating something tangible. Isabel's passion was infectious, her laugh a melody that drowned out the room's chatter. For the first time in months, Liam felt alive, like a part of him had been reawakened. The next week, Isabel emailed him about a potential collaboration. Coffee meetings turned into late-night brainstorming sessions at a cozy downtown cafe. "You're not like most architects," she said one evening, stirring her latte. "You see the soul of a building, not just the structure." Liam chuckled, but her words hit deep. "I used to feel that way. Lately, it's been harder to find that spark." Isabel's gaze softened. "Maybe you just need someone to remind you it's still there." Her words lingered, a dangerous invitation. At home, Sophia noticed his brighter mood but attributed it to work. "You seem happier," she said one night, a hopeful lilt in her voice. "Yeah, just excited about a new project," Liam lied, avoiding her eyes. The truth was, Isabel's attention was a drug, and he was already hooked. The line between friendship and something more blurred slowly, then all at once. It was a rainy Thursday, and Liam and Isabel were working late in her office, surrounded by blueprints and empty coffee cups. The city outside shimmered through the rain-streaked windows. "You ever wonder what it would be like to just start over?" Isabel asked, her voice low, almost a whisper. She was closer now, her shoulder brushing his as they studied a sketch. Liam's heart raced. "Sometimes," he admitted, his voice hoarse. "But I've got responsibilities. A life." She turned to face him, her eyes searching. "And is that life making you happy?" The question hung in the air, heavy and unanswered. Then, without thinking, Liam leaned in. Their kiss was electric, a spark that ignited a fire he couldn't control. They pulled away, breathless, the weight of what they'd done settling in. "This is a mistake," Liam said, but his hands were still on her waist. "Then why does it feel so right?" Isabel whispered, her voice a mix of challenge and longing. That night, they crossed a line neither could uncross. It was passionate, reckless, and fleeting, a moment of weakness that left Liam reeling. As he drove home, the rain blurring his windshield, guilt clawed at him. Sophia's face flashed in his mind, her trusting smile a dagger to his heart. The next morning, Isabel texted, "We need to talk." Liam stared at the message, his stomach churning. He wanted to regret it, but a part of him, small, selfish, and undeniable, didn't. Liam's life became a tightrope walk. At home, he was a ghost, moving through routines with Sophia while his mind replayed that night with Isabel. Every touch, every glance, was a secret he carried like a lead weight. "Everything okay?" Sophia asked one evening, catching him staring blankly at his phone. Her voice was gentle, but her eyes were sharp, searching for answers he couldn't give. "Yeah, just tired," he said, forcing a smile. He locked his phone, but not before Sophia caught a glimpse of a notification from Isabel. Her brow furrowed, but she said nothing. At work, Liam threw himself into projects, hoping to drown out the guilt. But Isabel was everywhere. Meetings, emails, stolen glances in the hallway. "We can't keep doing this," he told her one afternoon in a quiet corner of the office. "Do you want to stop?" she asked, her voice steady but her eyes vulnerable. He didn't answer. He couldn't. Instead, they fell into a pattern, stolen moments, secret texts, and lies that piled up like unpaid bills. Each encounter with Isabel was a high, each return to Sophia a crash. Sophia, meanwhile, felt the shift. Liam's late nights, his guarded phone, his distracted kisses, they were puzzle pieces she didn't want to fit together. "You're working too much," she said one night, her voice trembling. "It's like I'm losing you." "You're not," Liam lied, his throat tight. "I'm right here." But he wasn't. He was trapped in a web of his own making, and the threads were tightening. Sophia's intuition was a quiet alarm, growing louder each day. She noticed the small things, Liam's phone face down on the table, his hurried explanations for late nights, the way he avoided her gaze during conversations. She hated herself for doubting him, but the unease was a splinter she couldn't ignore. One evening, while Liam was at a client dinner, Sophia found his old tablet on the coffee table. Curiosity got the better of her. She powered it on, the screen flickering to life. It was synced to his phone, and a string of notifications popped up, texts from Isabel. Her heart sank as she opened them. "Last night was incredible. Can't stop thinking about you. Meet me at the cafe tomorrow? I need to see you." A photo followed, a selfie of Isabel, smiling, her auburn hair catching the light. Sophia's hands trembled. She scrolled further, each message a knife to her chest. There were dates, times, places, evidence of a life Liam was living without her. She dropped the tablet, tears blurring her vision. When Liam came home, she was waiting in the living room, the tablet glowing accusingly on the couch. "Soph," he said, his voice cautious. "What's wrong?" "Who's Isabel?" she asked, her voice steady despite the storm inside her. Liam's face paled. "She's a colleague. We're working on a project together." "Don't lie to me," Sophia snapped, her voice rising. "I saw the texts, Liam. The pictures. How long has this been going on?" He opened his mouth, but no words came. The silence was deafening, a confession in itself. "Get out," she said, her voice breaking. "I can't even look at you right now." Liam stood frozen, his world crumbling. "Sophia, please." "Out!" she shouted, tears streaming down her face. He grabbed his coat and left, the door slamming behind him. Sophia sank to the floor, sobbing, the weight of betrayal crushing her. But beneath the pain, a spark of resolve flickered. She wouldn't let this break her. Not yet. Sophia sat on the living room floor, the tablet's glow casting harsh shadows across her tear-streaked face. The texts from Isabel burned into her memory, each word a confirmation of Liam's betrayal. The Seattle rain pounded against the windows, mirroring the storm inside her. She clutched a throw pillow, her knuckles white, as the reality settled in. Her marriage, her trust, her world had fractured. The door creaked open, and Liam stepped back inside, his coat dripping. "Sophia, please, let me explain," he said, his voice raw with desperation. "Explain what?" she spat, rising to her feet. "How you've been lying to me. Sneaking around with her? I trusted you, Liam." He flinched, his eyes pleading. "It was a mistake. I swear, it didn't mean anything. I was lost. Work, the pressure, it got to me, and Isabel was just—" "Don't you dare blame your job." Sophia's voice cracked like thunder. "You chose this. You chose her over me." Liam sank onto the couch, head in his hands. "I know I messed up. I hate myself for it. But I love you, sophomore. I always have. Love." She laughed bitterly, wiping tears from her cheeks. "You don't destroy someone you love. You don't lie to their face every day." She pointed to the door. "I meant it, Liam. Get out." He stood, his shoulders slumped, and grabbed his keys. "I'll go. But I'm not giving up on us." His voice trembled, but Sophia turned away, unable to meet his gaze. As the door closed, she collapsed, sobbing. The house felt too big, too empty. She thought of their early days, late-night talks, shared dreams, the way Liam's laugh could light up her world. Now, it was all ashes. But even in her pain, a quiet voice whispered, "You're stronger than this." The next morning, Sophia woke with a pounding headache and a resolve as sharp as broken glass. She called her best friend, Mia, who arrived within the hour, armed with coffee and fierce loyalty. "He did what?" Mia's eyes widened as Sophia recounted the texts, the lies, the betrayal. "That bastard. What do you need? A lawyer? A hitman?" Sophia managed a weak smile. "Just you. And maybe a plan." They sat at the kitchen table, the tablet between them like evidence in a trial. "I want to confront him properly," Sophia said. "No shouting, no tears. I need him to understand what he's done." That evening, Liam returned to collect some belongings, as agreed. Sophia stood in the living room, her posture rigid but composed. "We need to talk," she said, her voice steady. Liam nodded, his eyes bloodshot. "I'm so sorry, sophomore. I'll do anything to fix this." "Fix it," she said, her tone icy. "You broke our vows, Liam. You broke me. Do you even know why you did it?" He hesitated, searching for words. "I felt empty. Like I was failing at everything. Work, us. Isabel made me feel seen, but it was a lie I told myself. It was never about her. It was about me being weak." Sophia's eyes narrowed. "That's not an excuse. You had a choice, and you chose to hurt me." She took a deep breath. "I need space. I don't know if I can ever trust you again." Liam's face crumpled, but he nodded. "I'll give you time. Whatever you need." He grabbed a duffel bag and left, the silence deafening in his wake. Sophia exhaled, feeling a strange mix of relief and sorrow. She wasn't ready to forgive, but she was ready to fight for herself. Liam moved into a sterile downtown apartment, the kind with exposed brick and no soul. His days were a blur of work and regret, his nights haunted by Sophia's tearful face. He'd deleted Isabel's number, blocked her emails, but the damage lingered like a stain. At the office, colleagues whispered, sensing the shift in his demeanor. "You okay, Carter?" his partner, Greg, asked over lunch. Liam forced a smile. "Just navigating some personal stuff." Greg raised an eyebrow but didn't push. "Take care of yourself, man. You look like hell." Alone in his apartment, Liam stared at a photo of him and Sophia from their honeymoon in Santorini, her smile radiant, his arm around her like nothing could tear them apart. Now, he was a stranger to that man. He poured a whiskey, but the burn didn't dull the ache. One night, unable to sleep, he called his brother, Ethan. "I screwed up, man," Liam confessed, his voice breaking. "I lost her. I don't know how to fix it." Ethan sighed. "You can't fix it until you fix yourself." "Why'd you do it, Liam?" "Really?" Liam paused, the question cutting deep. "I was running from, I don't know, feeling like I wasn't enough. For her, for work, for anyone." "Then start there," Ethan said. "Get help. Be better. Not for her, for you." The words stuck. The next day, Liam booked an appointment with a therapist. It was a small step, but for the first time, he felt a flicker of hope, not for reconciliation, but for redemption. Sophia threw herself into rebuilding her life, determined not to let Liam's betrayal define her. She dusted off her sketchbooks, her fingers rediscovering the joy of creating. She joined a pottery class, reconnected with old friends, and started therapy, where she unpacked the pain she'd buried. "You're not just grieving a marriage," her therapist, Dr. Nguyen, said during a session. "You're grieving the version of yourself you thought you needed to be for him." Sophia nodded, tears welling. "I gave so much of myself to him. I don't even know who I am anymore." "Then let's find her," Dr. Nguyen said gently. "What makes you feel alive?" The question sparked something. Sophia started running again, the Seattle trails becoming her sanctuary. She laughed with Mia over wine, danced at a local jazz club, and even flirted with a barista who slipped her his number. She didn't call, but the attention felt like a small victory. One evening, Mia dragged her to an art gallery opening. "You need this," Mia insisted. "Your work belongs here." Sophia hesitated, then submitted a piece, a vibrant abstract painting born from her pain. To her shock, it sold. "You've got something special," the gallery owner said. "Keep creating." At home, Sophia stood in front of her easel, paint smudged on her cheek. For the first time in months, she felt like herself, not Liam's wife, not a victim, but Sophia, whole and unbroken. Liam's therapy sessions were a battlefield, each one forcing him to confront truths he'd avoided for years. "Why did you cheat?" his therapist, Dr. Patel, asked bluntly during their third meeting. Liam shifted uncomfortably. "I felt trapped. Like I was failing Sophia, failing at work. Isabel was an escape." "An escape from what?" Dr. Patel pressed. "From feeling like I wasn't enough," Liam admitted, his voice barely audible. "My dad was always so hard on me. Nothing was ever good enough. I think I carried that into my marriage." Dr. Patel nodded. "You sought validation outside yourself. But real change starts within." The words were a wake-up call. Liam began journaling, digging into his insecurities, his need for approval. He volunteered at a community center, teaching kids about architecture, finding purpose in their wide-eyed curiosity. Slowly, he started to like the man he was becoming. He avoided Isabel, but her presence lingered in industry circles. One day, she cornered him at a conference. "You've been dodging me," she said, her tone playful but edged with hurt. "There's nothing to say," Liam replied, his voice firm. "What happened was a mistake. I'm trying to be better." Isabel's smile faded. "You're different now." "I hope so," he said, walking away. Back at his apartment, Liam stared at his phone, Sophia's contact glowing on the screen. He wanted to call, to beg for forgiveness, but he knew he hadn't earned it. Instead, he texted, "I'm working on myself. I hope you're okay." No reply came, but he didn't expect one. This was his journey, and he was finally ready to face it. 3 years had passed since the night Sophia threw Liam out. Their interactions were now limited to brief, polite emails about shared bills or the occasional text about their old brownstone, which Sophia still lived in. The distance had dulled the raw edge of her pain, but trust remained a ghost between them. Yet, a fragile thread of their shared history lingered, unspoken but unbreakable. Sophia had transformed her life. Her art career was thriving, with her paintings featured in Seattle galleries. She ran marathons, her body strong, her spirit fiercer. But late at night, when the house was quiet, she'd find herself staring at old photos of her and Liam, wondering if she'd ever fully let go. Liam, meanwhile, had rebuilt himself from the ground up. Therapy had peeled back layers of insecurity, revealing a man determined to live with integrity. He'd left Ellison and Grey for a smaller firm, prioritizing balance over ambition. He hadn't dated, hadn't wanted to. His heart still belonged to Sophia, though he knew he had no right to hope. One afternoon, Sophia emailed about a leaking pipe in the brownstone. "Can you come by to discuss repairs?" she wrote, her tone neutral. Liam's pulse quickened. It was the first time she'd asked to see him in person. At the house, Sophia greeted him at the door, her hair shorter, her eyes guarded but softer than he remembered. "Thanks for coming," she said, leading him to the kitchen. The familiar scent of her lavender candle hit him like a memory. "The plumber's coming tomorrow," she explained, pointing to a damp spot on the ceiling. "I just thought, you should know, since we still co-own the place." Liam nodded, his throat tight. "It's good to see you, sophomore. You look happy." She hesitated, then offered a small smile. "I'm getting there. You seem different too." "I'm trying," he said, his voice earnest. "I've been working on myself. I know I hurt you, and I'll never forgive myself for that." Sophia looked away, her fingers tracing the edge of the counter. "I don't hate you, Liam. I don't know how to trust you again." "I don't expect you to," he said quietly. "But I'm here if you ever need me." As he left, Sophia watched him go, a pang in her chest. She didn't want to admit it, but seeing him stirred something. Nostalgia, maybe, or the ghost of what they'd once been. The Seattle Community Center buzzed with families at the annual spring fair. Liam volunteered at the architecture booth, helping kids build miniature bridges with popsicle sticks. He laughed, his heart lighter than it had been in years. Then he saw her, Sophia, across the field, pushing a small boy on a swing. The boy's dark hair and familiar jawline stopped Liam cold. He approached, his steps hesitant. "Sophia," he called, his voice barely steady. She turned, her face paling as she saw him. The boy, about 2 years old, giggled, oblivious. "Liam," she said, her voice tight. "What are you doing here?" "I volunteer here," he said, his eyes locked on the boy. "Who's this?" Sophia's lips parted, but no words came. The boy looked up, his hazel eyes, Liam's eyes, sparkling. "Mommy, who's that?" he asked, pointing. Liam's heart thudded. "Sophia, is he?" She nodded, tears brimming. "His name's Noah. He's yours." The world tilted. Liam gripped the swing's chain, his voice a whisper. "Why didn't you tell me?" Sophia lifted Noah from the swing, holding him close. "I found out I was pregnant after you left. I was so angry, Liam. I couldn't bear to tell you, not after everything." He staggered back, shock mingling with a fierce, unexpected joy. "I have a son," he murmured, his eyes fixed on Noah. "Sophia, I would have been there. I would have tried." "You weren't ready," she said, her voice firm but trembling. "I had to protect him. And myself." Liam swallowed hard, tears burning. Can I know him? Please." Sophia studied him, seeing the man he'd become, not the one who'd broken her. "We'll talk," she said finally. "But this changes everything." That evening, Sophia invited Liam to the brownstone to discuss Noah. They sat at the kitchen table, Noah asleep upstairs. The air was heavy with unspoken questions. Why keep him a secret for 3 years? Liam asked, his voice a mix of hurt and awe. "I missed his first steps, his first words." Sophia's eyes flashed with pain. "You broke me, Liam. When I found out I was pregnant, I was still picking up the pieces. I couldn't risk letting you back in, not when I didn't know if you'd hurt us again." Liam nodded, his jaw tight. "I deserved that. But I've changed, sophomore. I'm not that guy anymore." She leaned back, arms crossed. "Maybe. But trust isn't just given back. It's earned." "I know," he said, his voice low. "I want to earn it. For Noah, at least." Sophia sighed, her resolve wavering. "He's incredible. Smart, curious, stubborn like you." She smiled faintly. "He loves trains and drawing. I see you in him every day." Liam's heart ached, a mix of love and regret. Can I meet him? Properly. She hesitated, then nodded. Tomorrow. At the park. But we set ground rules. He's my priority, Liam. No games. None, he promised, his eyes unwavering. I just want to be his dad. As Liam left, Sophia felt a strange relief. Keeping Noah a secret had been a shield, but it was also a burden. Now, the truth was out, and she wasn't sure whether to feel free or terrified. The park meeting was tentative but hopeful. Noah, clutching a toy train, studied Liam with wide eyes. Are you my daddy? He asked, his voice small but curious. Liam knelt, his heart swelling. Yeah, buddy. I'm your dad. Noah tilted his head. Where were you? Liam glanced at Sophia, who gave a subtle nod. I had to work on some things, he said carefully. But I'm here now, and I want to know all about you. Noah grinned, holding up his train. This is Thomas. He's fast. They spent the afternoon playing, Liam learning Noah's quirks, his love for blue crayons, his hatred of carrots. Sophia watched, her heart torn between caution and hope. Over the next weeks, they navigated co-parenting with the help of a family therapist, Dr. Ellis. Communication is key, Dr. Ellis said during their first session. Noah needs stability, not your past conflicts. Sophia nodded, her voice firm. I want what's best for him. But I need to know you're in this for the long haul, Liam. I am, he said, his eyes steady. I've got no right to ask for more than that, but I'm here for him. And for you, if you'll let me. Sophia didn't respond, but her silence wasn't cold. It was considering. They set a schedule. Liam would have Noah on weekends, attend school events, and join therapy sessions to build trust. One evening, after dropping Noah off, Liam lingered at Sophia's door. He's amazing, sophomore. You've done an incredible job. She softened, just a fraction. He's my world. Just, don't let him down. I won't, Liam vowed, and for the first time, she believed he meant it. Liam threw himself into fatherhood with a passion that surprised even him. He showed up for Noah's preschool art show, cheering as Noah presented a lopsided clay dinosaur. It's a T-Rex, Daddy. Noah beamed, and Liam's heart melted. At the park, they built sandcastles, Liam marveling at Noah's imagination. This is the King's Tower, Noah declared, sticking a twig flag on top. He fights dragons. Brave king, Liam said, ruffling his hair. You're gonna be a great architect someday. Noah giggled. What's an architect? Liam laughed, explaining in simple terms, his voice warm with pride. Sophia watched from a bench, her guard lowering as she saw Liam's genuine joy. He was different, steadier, present in a way he hadn't been before. One night, Noah stayed over at Liam's apartment. After bedtime stories, Noah looked up, his eyes serious. Daddy, why don't you live with Mommy? Liam's chest tightened. We had some grown-up problems, he said gently. But we both love you so much, and we're figuring things out. Noah nodded, seemingly satisfied, and hugged him. I'm glad you're my daddy. Liam held him close, tears prickling. Me too, buddy. Sophia noticed the change in Noah too. His laughter was louder, his stories filled with, Daddy said this, and Daddy did that. During a therapy session, she admitted, he's good with Noah. Better than I expected. Dr. Ellis smiled. People can change, Sophia. The question is, what do you want this to mean for you? Sophia didn't answer, but the question lingered. As she watched Liam and Noah play, a spark of possibility flickered, dangerous, fragile, but undeniably there. Liam's life had found a fragile rhythm, weekends with Noah, therapy sessions, and cautious but civil exchanges with Sophia. He felt like a man emerging from a long, dark tunnel. Then, at a Seattle architecture conference, Isabel Moreau reappeared, her auburn hair catching the light as she approached his booth. Liam, she said, her voice smooth but edged with intent. It's been a while. His stomach twisted. Isabel, he replied, keeping his tone neutral. What are you doing here? She smiled, undeterred. I'm heading a new project. Thought we could catch up, professionally, of course. Her eyes suggested otherwise. Liam's jaw tightened. I'm not interested. I've got a family to focus on. Her brow arched. Family. I heard you and Sophia split. Or, is there something new? He stepped back, his voice firm. My son, Noah. And Sophia. They're my priority. Isabel's smile faltered, but she recovered quickly. You've changed. I like this side of you. She slipped him her card. Call me if you change your mind. Liam tossed the card in the trash as soon as she walked away, but her presence lingered like a shadow. That night, he told Sophia about the encounter over coffee, their new routine for co-parenting updates. She showed up out of nowhere, he said, his eyes searching hers. I shut it down, sophomore. I promise. Sophia stirred her latte, her expression unreadable. Why tell me? Because I don't want secrets between us, he said earnestly. Not anymore. She nodded, her guard still up but softening. Thanks for being honest. Noah's waiting for you at the park tomorrow. Don't be late. As Liam left, he felt a flicker of hope. Sophia's reaction wasn't warm, but it wasn't cold either. Maybe, just maybe, they were rebuilding something. Isabel didn't relent. She emailed Liam about a collaborative project, her tone professional but laced with invitation. He ignored it. Then, at a networking event, she cornered him again, her perfume sharp and familiar. You're different, Liam, she said, leaning closer. But I still see that spark. Don't you miss it? Us. Liam stepped back, his voice steady. There was no us, Isabel. It was a mistake, and I've paid for it. I'm not that man anymore. Her eyes narrowed, a mix of hurt and defiance. You're throwing away something real for a fantasy of fixing things with her? It's not a fantasy, he said, his conviction surprising even himself. Sophia and Noah are my reality. I choose them. Isabel's face hardened, but she walked away without another word. Liam exhaled, feeling lighter, as if he'd shed a final piece of his old self. At their next therapy session, Liam shared the encounter with Sophia and Dr. Ellis. I meant what I said, he told them. I'm done running from who I need to be. Sophia studied him, her hazel eyes searching. You really mean that, don't you? I do, he said, his voice raw. I know I don't deserve your trust, but I'm trying to earn it, one day at a time. Dr. Ellis nodded. Trust is built through actions, Liam. You're showing consistency. Sophia, how does this feel for you? Sophia hesitated, then said, It's progress. I see you trying, Liam. It matters. As they left, Liam caught Sophia's small smile, and it felt like a victory. Months passed, and Liam and Sophia's co-parenting evolved into something warmer. They shared moments beyond Noah, coffee chats that lingered, laughs over his antics, memories that slipped into conversations. One evening, at a school play where Noah starred as a bumblebee, they sat side by side, their shoulders brushing. He's stealing the show, Liam whispered, grinning as Noah buzzed across the stage. Sophia laughed, her eyes bright. He gets that from you, always the center of attention. Liam chuckled, the sound easy, unguarded. After the play, they took Noah for ice cream, the three of them a picture of a family, if only for a moment. As Noah ran to the playground, Liam turned to Sophia. This feels good, sophomore. Like us, but better. She tilted her head, considering. It's different. You're different. I'm not sure what that means yet. I'll wait, he said softly. As long as it takes. At home, Sophia lay awake, her mind racing. Liam's change was undeniable. His patience with Noah, his honesty, the way he looked at her like she was the only person in the room. She wasn't ready to forgive fully, but the walls around her heart were crumbling. The next week, at a gallery event showcasing her art, Liam showed up with Noah, who proudly pointed out her paintings. Mommy's pictures are the best, he declared. Liam met her gaze, his voice low. He's right. You're incredible, sophomore. Her cheeks warmed, and for the first time, she let herself imagine a future where trust could grow again. A year into co-parenting, Liam knew he wanted more, not just for Noah, but for the family they could be. He'd spent months proving himself, not with grand gestures but with quiet, consistent actions. Showing up for Noah's soccer games, respecting Sophia's boundaries, and sharing her joys and fears. One crisp autumn evening, he invited Sophia and Noah for a picnic at Gasworks Park. As Noah chased a kite, Liam took Sophia's hand, his heart pounding. "Soph, I've been thinking a lot about us. About what I lost and what I want to build." She stiffened, but didn't pull away. "Liam, we've been through so much." "I know," he said, his voice steady. "I broke your trust, and I'll spend my life making that right. But I love you, more than ever. I love our son, our life, the way we're finding our way back. I want to marry you again, not because of the past, but because I believe in our future." Sophia's eyes widened, tears glistening. "You're serious?" "Dead serious," he said, pulling a simple ring from his pocket, a new one, not tied to their old vows. "Will you give us a second chance?" She looked at Noah, then back at Liam, her heart warring with her head. "I need time," she said finally. "But I'm not saying no." Liam smiled, relief flooding him. "That's enough for now." 3 months later, Sophia said yes. They planned an intimate remarriage ceremony in their backyard, surrounded by close friends and family. Noah, now 4, proudly carried the rings, his grin infectious. Mia, Sophia's maid of honor, whispered, "You sure about this, Soph?" Sophia smiled, watching Liam adjust Noah's tie. "I am. He's not perfect, but he's ours." The ceremony was simple, their vows raw and real. "I failed you once," Liam said, his voice thick with emotion. "But I promise to choose you, every day, for the rest of my life." Sophia's eyes shimmered. "I choose you too, Liam. Not because it's easy, but because it's worth it." They kissed, the crowd cheering, Noah clapping loudest of all. Afterward, they moved into a new home, a cozy craftsman with a studio for Sophia and a workshop for Liam. It was a fresh start, untainted by the past. That night, as Noah slept, Liam and Sophia sat on their porch, stars above them. "We made it," she said, her hand in his. "We did," he replied, squeezing her hand. "And I'll never take it for granted again." The future wasn't certain, but it was theirs, forged from pain, rebuilt with love, and anchored by the family they'd fought to become. The end.